Hello everyone, hope everyone's having a great day. It's Jay, and we're back with our third video on the division rankings, the standings predictions for the 23-24 NHL season. This video we have the Metropolitan Division. We are starting off the Eastern Conference, starting off with the Metropolitan Division. As before, I'm going to rank the teams from 8th to 1st and which place I think they will finish in the standings, and I'll talk a little bit about the team. This is all just regular season predictions, and it's just my opinion. Please let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. We can have some discussion. We're going to start off right here. The 8th seeded team, I think, by the end of this regular season will be the Philadelphia Flyers in the Metropolitan Division. I don't think this one's too controversial. They're not that great, to be honest. They have some talent here and there. Carter Hart is I think can be a pretty elite goalie in this league. He's struggled the last few years. I think he can get back to form, potentially. I know there were rumors that early in the summer he was going to be traded. It didn't happen. I don't think he's going anywhere, at least not right now. But he can be a decent goalie for them. Other than that, though, they don't really have much. They have Travis Konechny. Hopefully Sean Couturier and Cam Atkinson can stay healthy for them this year. That will help them a ton. They have some good young players. Like I know Bobby Brink and Tyson Forrester had a great training camp for them. Hopefully Cam York can be steady and a big presence for them on the blue line there. Picked right before Cole Caulfield in that draft, so home for big things from him, because you look over and you see Caulfield killing it for Montreal. If you're a Flyers fan, it hurts a little bit, but York's still young. Hopefully he can become a great player for them and it not matter. But I have the Flyers in 8th place. Not a whole lot more to say on them. I think that's about where everyone expects them to be. Maybe they can surprise, but I don't know. They're not really going for it this year. They know that. So, I think 8th place is the right spot for them. Moving on, 7th place, I have the Washington Capitals. So I know for a long time, past decade or whatever, they've been, a powerhouse team. You have Alexander Ovechkin. How can you not be going for it? Well, I think what they're going for is getting Ovechkin to that Gretzky record. They don't really have the pieces to make the playoffs. I don't think they are either. I don't know. Tom Wilson's healthy this year, and John Carlson, so those will help them a lot. Without John Carlson on the back end, they really struggle. He's a big cornerstone for them. I'm not even the biggest John Carlson fan, but I can't deny that he's important to them, of course. So with him hurt last year and Tom Wilson hurt last year, it hurt them. They're back this year. If they can stay healthy, it'll help them, but I just... maybe they can flip with the 6th place team, but I just don't think they're going too far. I think the team knows that, and they're just focused on getting Ovechkin that record. They have some decent young players. Connor McMichael, I think, will be good. He's been good the past couple of years. But, nothing crazy going on there in Washington. They haven't really been trying to either. Maybe if Backstrom can stay healthy too, and Kuznetsov, there's some drama there this summer with Kuznetsov. They have pieces, but I don't think it's going to click. All those guys I just named are getting older. They're not staying healthy for the season. I have the Washington Capitals in 7th place in the division. 6th place in the division, I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. They'll move up a little bit. I'm kind of high on Columbus. I think they could surprise. Adam Fantilli's going to come in there, and he's going to, play well right away. I'm sure he's gonna be a big presence for them right away. Their D-line, their defense is pretty packed back there. A bunch of like 7 or 8 NHL caliber defensemen. I know Jarmo Kekalainen has said he's interested in moving a defenseman, make a bit more room for the younger guys. I assume that defenseman moved is Adam Boqvist. But we'll see. No one's been moved yet. Actually, full disclosure, I am recording these a few days into the season. I just thought I thought of the idea late, and I'd rather do it a little bit late than not do it at all. So full disclosure, I am recording this on Friday. This season started on Tuesday. Zach Werenski did get a pretty brutal knee-on-knee hit. He got hit with the knee the other night against Philadelphia. Would have been last night as the time of recording this. So hopefully he's not out too bad. Right now they're just saying 1 to 2 weeks. David Jiricek has been called up as of today. I think David Jiricek is going to be a great defenseman. I think he's going to fit right in there in the NHL. But it does hurt. In order for them to be successful, they got to rely a lot on Werenski. So for him, being hurt to start right away does suck for them. But they have good pieces. Adam Fantilli's going to be great. Like I said, their defense is really good. Another big question mark is Elvis Merzlikins. He had a pretty decent game last night too. I think if he can pick it up, if he can get back to form a little bit and even, get better, improve a little bit instead of regressing, then that'll be big for them. I think they could have a good push this year, honestly. Now that the coaching shenanigans are all out of the way, I think they got the right coach in the end, and I think all of that together, they can make a decent push here. I have them in 6th. That's probably the best they're going to get this year, but they could be good going forward in a couple years, kind of working their way back up into that playoff race. So I have them in 6th. 5th, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins. They made some moves. I like Ryan Graves added on the back end. Maybe a bit pricey, but I like him back there. They made the big Erik Karlsson trade. I think it's just going to be tricky. Karlsson and Letang on the same team. It's going to be hard to navigate. It's not impossible. It's a good problem to have, but it is something they're going to have to work on. But they lost a brutal game to Chicago. They gave it away. But you can never really bet against Crosby. Still got Letang there, as I said. Added Karlsson, Malkin's there. Jake Gensel's really good. Brian Rust. They have pieces. Maybe not much young talent. I thought Brandon Yager looked good in the preseason. Obviously, he's not with the team right now. But they don't have a ton of depth, like young pieces coming up. I mean, their depth isn't that bad. I know Alex Nylander had a good preseason. Radim Zohorna had a good preseason. They have depth there, but not a ton of young talent coming up through the system other than Brandon Yager that they're waiting on right now. They're not a bad team. They could surprise, but they are an old team. They are the oldest team in the NHL this year. And that's going to hurt them. That's going to be tough. They're going to put a lot of miles on these guys this year. And they're going to have to keep up. Can they do it? I think so. I don't want to ever vote against Crosby. But it's a tougher division too. And they're just on the back end, I think. And I just don't know if they have that final push to make it to the playoffs. I have them in 5th place. 6th place, I have the New York Islanders. The Islanders are tough. Probably have one of the best, if not the best, goalie tender in the world in Ilya Sorokin. He's going to be, I think he could win the Vezina this year, next year, and every year after for a long time. They play a boring style, but it works for them sometimes doesn't. They have decent talent there, Matthew Barzal, added Bo Horvat, which is good. Like, they have pieces there. It's just it didn't fit together last year on the island, and I'm not confident it's going to fit together this year for them. I could be wrong. Maybe I kind of hope I'm not. They're never fun to watch in the playoffs, but I do respect their game. I just don't know if they have enough. Like I said, they have Sorokin, which is great, and he could single-handedly take you to the playoffs, especially with the talent they got in front of them. They gave Pierre Engvall a 7-year deal, Scott Mayfield a 7-year deal. I don't hate it. Lou Lamoriello locks up his guys. Fair enough. I can't argue with it. It's just odd. It's not all fitting together nicely, in my opinion, and it didn't last year, and I'm not confident it will this year. I do have them in 4th place, though. I think they have enough talent there, and I think Sorokin can steal some games for them. That they're going to be middle of the pack, top end of the middle, and they'll be all right. 3rd place, I have the New York Rangers. Team with a ton of skill and another great goalie. Igor Shesterkin, another great goalie in the league. Ton of top-end talent. Mika Zibanejad, Artemi Panarin. I don't like to say it, but Chris Kreider, he's good. I don't like to say it, but he's great there. I think a big thing, it's the biggest thing everyone's talking about. Lafreniere has to take that next step. He has to. Even Kakko, to a lesser extent, has to take that step too. I think people would be harsher on Kakko if there wasn't first overall Lafreniere right there, even though Kakko was 2nd overall. That's so important for them. He has to take that next step. I think it might not be a bad idea to try Lafreniere higher in the lineup, but as a winger, it's something to think about at least. Maybe they have done that. If I'm mistaken, I apologize, but I think that could work. You got to try something. You got to get him going. I know last night Lafreniere did score the Rangers' first goal of the season, so that's good. That's great. Keep that up, kid. I'm rooting for him. I want the best for him. So hopefully he can keep that up. They have great talent on there. Adam Fox, another perennial Norris winner right there, or Norris candidate, I should say. A great defenseman. K'Andre Miller is good. He's underrated on that team, I think, because of Adam Fox, but but I don't think he's underrated in New York. I think New York Rangers fans know how good he is, but outside fans like myself sometimes forget. But he looks like a stud. They have great pieces there. Again, I'm going to miss people when I go through these videos, so I apologize. I think, is it Will Cooley who's on the Rangers who had a really good preseason? If that's wrong, I apologize. I don't have like Cat Friendly or anything up in front of me. But I know they have a young prospect. I think it's Will Cooley. If not, again, I apologize. But who really performed well in the preseason, so good for him. They have young players coming up like that who hopefully can help. But they need the guys they're expecting, like Lafreniere and Kako, to take a step. And I think they'll be really good. But there are a few question marks with stuff like that, and they have a little bit of history of losing under pressure. But third place, they'll make the playoffs, no problem. That's my prediction for the Rangers. Second place, I have the Carolina Hurricanes. So again, they're a deep team, a solid team all through the lineup. They got grit, they have heart, everything you want. Goaltending is a little shaky, but they have three like 1B goalies. Even Frederik Andersen, you could argue, is a 1A, but Frederik Andersen, Antti Ranta, and then Pyotr Kochetkov. Those are three really decent goalies. Pyotr Kochetkov is the youngest, so he has higher ceiling. And Frederik Andersen, we've seen great games from him, great stretches from him, so we know what he can be. So their goaltending, I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, they don't have the top end talent that New York does with Shesterkin or New York does with Sorokin, but three solid goalies. Then you can go through the names, but Aho, Svechnikov. They added Bunting, which I think is a great addition for them. Jordan Stahl, their captain, is always steady, always a pain to play against. Their D, Brett Pesce, Jacob Slavin. Again, I'm always going to be missing guys. Brent Burns, of course. They are a cup favorite for a reason, and anyone who picks them to win the Stanley Cup is not off base in my opinion. But this isn't about playoffs, it's about regular season, and I have them finishing in second place. And that is because the New Jersey Devils are just going to tear through the NHL, period. Not just the Metropolitan, not just the Eastern Conference. The New Jersey Devils are going to tear through the NHL. They are young, they are all locked up, they have talent, and they're just going to be getting better. They are so good. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. Jack Hughes is going to be a Hart candidate for years to come. Nico Hischier is going to be a Selke winner for years to come. They're so good. They have Simon Nemec and Luke Hughes, two players who will be fighting for the Norris coming up. They're just starting. Simon Nemec, I don't believe, is on the team to start the year, and Luke Hughes is, and he looked really good in the playoffs last year. Just so solid. Their goaltending is what scares me a little bit. But they are just so good defense forwards that you put a pylon in net and they will just outscore you. They Jesper Bratt, I can name through the names. I'm turning into a Devils fan because they just blow me away because they're young. They've done a great job of getting locked up for cheap. They are great team deals, and it's looking great in New Jersey. I have them finishing first. They went on a tear last year. I think they're going on a tear again. Maybe not the 10-game winning streak like they did last year, but they will tear up the NHL. Lindy Ruff, I just saw, got an extension. They're looking good for the future. New Jersey Devil fans should be very proud of this team and very excited for the future, as I am for them. That is my Metropolitan Division ranking. That is the Eastern Conference beginning. I will have one more video ranking the standings for the regular season. That'll be finished off with the Atlantic Division. Look forward to that soon. Until then, make sure you follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/JayShooe. Subscribe to me on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos, and let me know in the comments what you think of my rankings. If you think I'm totally dumb, let me know why. Let me know why I didn't pick your favorite teams to win. And stay tuned for the Atlantic Division to finish it off. But until then, have a great rest of your day. Peace out.